The quiet hum of a suburban evening was shattered by the roar of engines. A pack of bikers, leather-clad and reckless, tore through the peaceful streets like a storm, their laughter sharp as broken glass. At the center of it all, a lone figure stood unwavering. Retired Officer Dan Harris, a man who'd spent 30 years keeping the streets safe, now watching his own neighborhood become a playground for chaos. The bikers, thinking him just another helpless civilian, revved their engines in challenge, kicking over trash cans and shouting obscenities at anyone who dared to look their way. But what they didn't know, this quiet man in a faded police jacket had a spine of steel and a trigger-sharp instinct for justice. As the gang's leader, a hulking figure with a snarling wolf tattoo, swaggered toward him, Dan didn't flinch. His voice, low and steady, like a gathering thunderstorm, cut through the noise. "You boys lost." The bikers froze, something in his tone, in the way his eyes locked onto theirs, screamed danger. The air crackled with tension, the neighborhood holding its breath. Then, in a flash, the wolf-tattooed man lunged, swinging a chain like a whippon for Dan to sidestep with the grace of a man half his age, twisting the attacker's arm behind his back in one fluid motion. The bikers gasped. This wasn't some frail retiree. This was a cop who'd walked the darkest streets and knew how fights ended. Sirens wailed in the distance. Neighbors had called 911 the moment the chaos began. But until help arrived, Dan stood like a sentinel, his gaze never leaving the gang. One by one, the bikers backed down, their bravado crumbling under the weight of his unshakable resolve. By the time real backup arrived, the street was silent, the would-be bullies reduced to muttered apologies. But the real victory wasn't in the arrest, it was in the way the neighborhood rallied. Kids peeked out from behind curtains, their fear replaced with awe. An elderly woman brought Dan a cup of coffee, her hands trembling not from fear, but gratitude. This was what courage looked like, not just strength, but the choice to stand when others would run. Dan's story isn't just about a retired cop who still had fight left. It's a reminder that heroes don't retire, they reload. In a world where so many turn away, he chose to step forward, proving that decency and bravery can silence even the loudest threats. So the next time you see someone standing up against the odds, remember Dan. And if this story moved you, hit subscribe, like, and share, because the world needs more tales of everyday courage. Want more real-life stories of bravery and heart? Subscribe now, you won't want to miss what's next.